Good morning, students. Today we will study AS11, and AS11 deals with effect of changes in foreign exchange rates. Now, what this AS is all about? Point number one, AS11 deals with, whenever you study any particular AS, the very first point is what does the AS deal with? What accounting treatment is prescribed in that particular AS? That one we have to study first. So AS11 deals with number A, foreign currency transactions, right? There are so many transactions which we enter in foreign currency. Goods sold to a foreign customer, that is export. Goods purchased from a foreign supplier, that is import. Instead of borrowing from Indian bank, I am borrowing from a foreign bank. So foreign bank will give me the loan proceeds in foreign currency. So at what value I should record that particular loan in my books? Because I am an Indian company and I have entered transactions with foreign parties, right? So when you enter transaction with foreign customers, foreign supplier, foreign bank, right, then how you are going to record those transactions in your books of accounts? Because as per money measurement concept, if you remember, you have to prepare your books of accounts in the currency in which you are operating. Indian company entering into a foreign transaction will report its transaction in Indian rupee. However, when such company enters into a transaction with a foreign party, that particular transaction will actually initiate in foreign currency. So you bring that money into India, you convert that into Indian rupee, right? That particular rate at which the money is converted is known as exchange rate. And if you are converting today, so that particular exchange rate is known as spot rate, right? So there are a lot of things that we'll study as we move ahead. So AS11 deals with foreign currency transactions. AS11 also deals with forward exchange contracts. Now, as I have already told you that I'm buying goods from a foreign supplier. Say $1 lakh I bought, right? Now, I have to report that foreign creditors in my books using today's spot rate, today's exchange rate, because I cannot report this transaction in my books in dollar, because my reporting currency is Indian rupee, so I have to report that particular transaction in Indian rupee. So amount of goods purchased and the foreign creditor, this particular transaction is dominated in foreign currency. So I will convert that into Indian rupee using today's spot rate. Now, say for example, today's spot rate is 70 rupees per dollar. So $1 lakh I have to pay. Say for example, $1 lakh I have to pay to that foreign creditor. So when I report that transaction, when I record that transaction in my books, I will be using today's exchange rate, that is 70 rupees per dollar. So as a result of which, if such liability is settled today, so in order to pay $1 lakh, I have to give 70 lakh rupees, because $1 is equivalent to 70 rupees and my total purchase value is $1 lakh. So 1 lakh into 70, that is 70 lakh equivalent Indian rupee. Now, say for example, I am not settling today. There are some credit periods offered by the supplier. Say 3 months credit period is being offered. Now, after 3 months, listen very carefully, after 3 months, I have to pay 70 lakh rupees or $1 lakh to the foreign supplier. Initially, I converted that particular transaction, right? Initially, I converted that particular transaction using 3 months before exchange rate. Now, after 3 months, when I actually settle that foreign creditor, the foreign creditor will take 70 lakh rupees or 1 lakh dollar? Obviously the foreign creditor has got nothing to do with Indian rupee. Foreign creditor will ask 1 lakh dollar because the original value of goods supplied was 1 lakh. 3 months ago the rate was 70, so you reported that transaction at 70 lakhs, but your foreign creditor will ask you 1 lakh dollar for the same. So now you have to do bit of analysis. You are afraid of dollar being rise. If dollar shoots up against rupee, in that case, in order to repay that 1 lakh dollar, said after 3 months the dollar shoots up to 73 rupees or 75. So in order to pay him 1 lakh dollar, you have to buy that dollar at 75 after 3 months. So as a result of which, the goods which original value before 3 months was in Indian rupee was 70 lakh, you end up paying 75 lakh. So as a result of which, many businessmen, they enter into forward exchange contract. Okay, fine, I have to pay, I have to pay 1 lakh dollar after 3 months from now, and I'm afraid of dollar getting rise. So what I will do, I will book today, but the settlement will take place after 3 months from now. So I will contract, I will go into an agreement with any bank that after 3 months from now I will buy 1 lakh dollar at 72 rupees. The rate has been fixed. Now after 3 months, then whatever is the rate, whether it is 75, 65, 69, whatever, I will be able to purchase that dollar at 72 rupees. That is forward exchange contracts. I am booking the foreign currency 3 months later at a specified date in future. Number C, foreign operations, right? There are so many operations. Suppose I set up a branch in USA, or I set up a branch in Spain, right? So you know that you have done branch accounting. To the shareholder, only one PL and balance sheet we have to submit. It is not unit wise. So I have to consolidate that foreign branch final account with my head office final account. Now foreign branch final account is in dollar or pound, and my head office final account is in rupee. So I have to convert that foreign currency operation into Indian rupee. For that, this AS will help us, give us some guidelines of conversion, right? So sir, what is this AS all about? This AS is very simple. We have entered transaction, right? If I give you example, X of Kolkata purchase goods from Y of Delhi for rupees 3 lakh on credit. Right? So what is the journal entry I am going to record today upon purchase? So I'll write purchase account debit to Y, and Y is my creditor. The transaction is denominated in reporting currency in which my business is operating. Now on payment date, I am very sure that I have to pay 3 lakh rupees. So simply Y creditor account debit to bank 3 lakh. There is no problem. Simply I have purchased goods. My books of accounts is being reported in Indian currency, and I have purchased from an Indian supplier. So 3 lakh goods has been purchased, and after 3 months I have to pay 3 lakh only. Very simple. Now take another example. X of Kolkata purchased goods from a foreign supplier for dollar 1 lakh on credit. Now in question they will give you spot rate. Spot rate is today's exchange rate. So 1 USD is equals to 70 INR. This is the spot rate. 1 USD is equals to 70 INR. Now, your reporting currency is Indian rupee and you have entered a transaction with a foreign supplier. So all the transactions will be reported in which currency? Your reporting currency is Indian rupee. So you have to report this particular transaction also in Indian rupee, but you have executed this transaction in foreign currency. So what you should do? The journal entry will remain the same. Purchase account debit to foreign creditor, whatever, John, say for example John. Shall I show it at 1 lakh dollar? Absolutely no. This is X of Kolkata purchase goods from an Indian supplier. This is reported in rupees. Suddenly one transaction is getting reported in dollar. How are you going to express, how are you going to present your financial statements? So what you should do, what you should be doing, you should be converting this 1 lakh dollar into 70. So that comes to 70 lakh. That comes to 70 lakh rupees. Now on the date of payment, spot rate is 1 USD is equals to 75 INR. So as a result of which you can easily see that this foreign supplier will not accept 70 lakh because that 70 lakh is in your books. The foreign supplier, if I supply you, I will bill you in my own currency. I've got nothing to do with your currency. I'm not going to bear any exchange difference loss. Right? Are you getting my point? So the foreign supplier needs payment in foreign currency, not Indian currency. So I have to buy 1 lakh dollar and that buying will take 75 rupees. So in my books, this foreign creditor is at 70 lakh, but I have to pay 1 lakh dollar into 75. I have to pay 1 lakh dollar into 75, that comes to 75 lakh rupees. So the excess of 5 lakh will be shown as exchange difference. So if you are importing goods from foreign country, you have to be very careful regarding your exchange fluctuations as well. And this particular exchange difference, it's a loss. This particular exchange difference will be transferred to profit and loss account. This is how transactions entered with foreign parties are reported in your books of accounts. The foreign supplier will demand payment in foreign currency, right? And I told you that you can enter with you can enter into forward exchange. This is known as hedging. So in this case, I have not hedged myself. There is no hedging in this case. I guess it's absolutely fine with all of you. So this is known as initial recognition, will be done at using today's exchange, that is spot rate. I guess this is absolutely fine. So sir, this particular AS deals with that when I enter transactions with foreign parties, foreign customer, foreign supplier, foreign bank. So initially that transaction will be recorded at spot rate, right? And subsequent recognition will be done at then spot rate. After 3 months, if payment is being done, so I have to pay in foreign currency, right? The person will not say ki, oh, that time Indian rupee conversion was done at 70 lakhs, I'll give you 70 lakh. No, the billing is being done in foreign currency, so he will accept payment in foreign currency. He needs simply $1 lakh. He needs simply $1 lakh. So you have to give him $1 lakh, not 70 lakh. Now, how do you give it? By buying. So on the date of payment, the spot rate is 75. So kindly go and buy. So there will be an exchange difference which will be transferred to profit and loss account. Is that fine? Now, let me give you one more example. On 1/7/2018, Mr. X borrowed $1 lakh from a foreign bank, and that time the spot rate was rupees 60 per dollar. You can denote it like this also. On 1st May 2019, loan is settled, right? And exchange rate on 31st of March 2019 was rupees 62 per dollar. On 1st of May 2019 was 65 per dollar. Is that fine? So initially we learnt how to record transaction which has been entered with an Indian supplier, right? Then we learned how to record transactions when you enter with a foreign supplier, right? So another example. Now in this case you can see that the payment is being made in a different financial year. So I have gave you the rules for initial recognition. Whenever you enter transaction with a foreign party, you record that in your books using today's spot rate, that is 60. Initially this foreign loan will be recorded in my books at 60 because in India this dollar has of no value. So I have to convert that. Going to a bank, I have to give them 1 lakh dollar, they will give me Indian currency. So that exchange will take place at 60. So initial recognition, if I talk about initial recognition, right, using spot rate. Now at the balance sheet dates, this foreign bank loan account will be revalued. Revalued means subsequent recognition. Of foreign debtor, foreign creditors, foreign loan. Right? So this will be done using balance sheet date exchange rate. Right? Why we need to do subsequent recognition? It will be presumed that as if you settle this, if you settle this today on the balance sheet, then what will be the effect on your financial statements? In this particular example which I gave you earlier, there was no question because on 1st of April 18 I purchased and on 30th June 18 I have paid. There is no question of subsequent recognition out here. But since taking loan and repayment is being done at two different accounting periods, so there will be question of subsequent recognition as well. So initially it will be recorded using today's spot rate, on the date of transaction, and subsequent recognition of these foreign debtors, foreign creditors, foreign loan will be done using balance sheet date exchange rate. Right? So how we are going to report that? Have a look. Journal entry on 1st of July 2018. So I've taken a loan. It will be reported in my Indian rupee. Bank account debit to foreign loan. Right now I'm explaining you foreign currency transactions, right? You can give a heading here, foreign currency transactions, right? So this is an example of foreign currency transaction. I'm entering with a foreign supplier. This is also a transaction entered with a foreign party. So these are all foreign currency transactions. So I have borrowed $1 lakh. So $1 lakh, 60 rupees is the today's spot rate. Is that fine? Now this is initial recognition. On 31st March 19, this is not yet settled, but the subsequent recognition of this foreign loan will be done using the foreign using the balance sheet date exchange rate. Because initially recorded this foreign loan at $60. If I settle on the balance sheet date, then I have to pay 62 rupees per dollar. So you can see that the exchange rate has increased, so there is a loss. So I should report this loss in this financial year. And now since I'm paying in next financial year, so next financial year again there is a loss of rupees 3 per dollar. So 2 per dollar will be reported in this financial year and 3 per dollar will be reported in next financial year. Right? So it is clearly mentioned that whenever you enter transactions with a foreign party, you have to restate such asset or liability, whatever. If it is a foreign debtor, it's an asset. Foreign credit, it's a liability. Foreign loan, it's a liability, right? So these assets and liabilities which are receivable or payable in foreign currency, so these are commonly known as monetary items. I'll just give you the definition. Hang on. Right? Sir, as per AS 11, you told that whenever you enter transactions with a foreign party, foreign debtor, foreign creditor, foreign loan should be restated at the balance sheet date. If it has been settled or realized before the balance sheet date, no question of restating. But if it is settled in future at next accounting period, so at this balance sheet date, you have to restate these assets and liabilities. So these foreign debtor, these foreign liabilities, right? These are payable in Indian currency or it is payable in known foreign currency. I have to pay them dollar. I have to receive dollar. Right? So these are known as monetary items. So monetary items are those items, those assets and liabilities which are receivable or payable in known foreign currency. I'll give you the definition after this example. Right? So initial recognition will be done at today's spot rate, and at the balance sheet date I have to do the subsequent recognition. The moment you do subsequent recognition, you have to show this loss of 2 per dollar in this financial year. And on the date of payment, again the exchange rate has increased. So from 62 to 65, this loss will be shown in next financial year. Right? So let us start. It has increased. So I'll write exchange difference account debit to foreign loan. $1 lakh. If I settle, I have to pay 62. Initially it is recorded at 60. So 2 lakh rupees loss I have to report. And on this very same date, profit and loss account debit to exchange difference. Two lakh, 2 lakh. Now in the balance sheet, this particular liability is shown at 62 lakh. Subsequent recognition has been done. So this is initial recognition. This is subsequent recognition. Is that fine? So for which items you have to show subsequent recognition? Monetary items. And what are those monetary items? Foreign creditor, foreign debtor, foreign loan, which are receivable or payable in known foreign currency. Right? Now, next year, when you actually show the payment on 1st of May 19, as of now, this foreign loan is there in your books at 62 lakh. 60 lakh was initial recognition and 2 lakh loss I have shown when I restated such foreign loan using balance sheet date exchange rate. However, to bank, I have to pay this $1 lakh on 1st May exchange rate, that is 65 lakh. Again, there is an exchange difference of 3 lakh. So this is also a loss, and this year this loss will be debited to this year's profit and loss account. So 1920 PL Is that fine? So we are going to do subsequent recognition only for monetary items, that is foreign debtor and foreign liabilities, right? So now write down monetary items, this is commonly known as foreign currency monetary items. Short form FCMI. These are money held and assets and liabilities to be received or paid in fixed or determinable amount of foreign currency. So these are assets and liabilities to be received or paid in fixed foreign currency. For example, foreign debtors, foreign creditors, foreign loan. Right? Now, what is this non monetary items? These are other than FCMI. For example, fixed asset, inventories, investment in equity shares. So these are non FCMI and this is FCMI. Is that fine? Right? Now I'll give you the notes. First, we are going to deal with foreign currency transactions. Right? So whatever example I gave you two examples, or both examples were of foreign currency transactions. Right? So write down foreign currency transactions means transactions which is denominated in or requires settlement in foreign currency. This is very important. Export, import, loan from foreign bank, all these are denominated or requires settlement in foreign currency. Right? So first I have to talk about, I'm writing, I'm giving you fresh notes, that is why I'm writing it again. Initial recognition. Okay, before initial recognition, fine, no issue, we'll do with initial recognition. Foreign currency transactions are initially recorded at, foreign currency transactions are initially recorded at using spot rate on the date of transaction. So this is initially recorded at spot rate. Right? We did that same only. Now let me talk about subsequent recognition. At balance sheet date. As of now, I'm not doing any hedging. I just explained you what is forward exchange contract, but I haven't shown you any practical sum of that. Simply, this is just subsequent recognition I am showing. Dollar rate has increased against rupee, so you restate your loan. Right? Now, you need to remember one thing, that there are FCMI, non monetary items, and there can be some contingent liabilities as well, which is denominated in foreign currency. So I have already told you, only monetary items you will restate at the balance sheet date exchange rate, right? To be reported using closing rate oblique balance sheet date exchange rate. That is foreign debtors, foreign creditors, foreign loan. Carried at historical cost. Suppose I have purchased a fixed asset from a foreign supplier. right? So what will be the entry? Fixed asset account debit to foreign creditors, and initial recognition will be done at using the spot rate. Now on the balance sheet date, only foreign creditors will be restated, not fixed asset. Only foreign creditors. No subsequent recognition. Only this particular item will be restated. Is that fine? I guess this is absolutely okay with all of you. And regarding contingent liability, to be reported using closing rate. Is that fine? Okay. So now we will do few more examples, right? So few more questions, right? So you can see in your study material, kindly go through with problem number 1. Kindly read problem number 1. I guess it's absolutely fine. So foreign currency transactions are initially recorded using the spot rate. Done. And only FCMI items will be restated, right? Only FCMI items will be restated at the balance sheet date using the closing rate. right? Now, the very first question, compute the loss of gain for the financial year ending 31st March 2019 from the following. Is that fine? Raw materials imported on 1st January, $10,000, and the rate of exchange was 55 per USD. Okay. Financial year ending on 31st March. On that date, the exchange rate was 54. So this is a foreign creditor payable in foreign currency. So this is FCMI, right? So this foreign currency will be subsequently restated at the balance sheet date at 54. So I have to show this gain, and this gain, this exchange difference gain, will be transferred to profit and loss account. On the date of actual payment, now it has been restated at 54 per dollar. On the actual date of 7th July next year, the rate of exchange again fell down to 53. So that gain from 54 to 53, that gain will be reported in the year of settlement, right? So what they have done, chief accountant passed an entry on 31st March adjusting the cost of raw material consumed for the exchange difference. No, there are two mistakes he has done. Any exchange difference on FCMI, any exchange difference on FCMI should be transferred to PL, number one. And subsequent recognition is done using the balance sheet date exchange rate, and they have actually used the closing date exchange rate, right? Discuss whether the treatment is justified and also pass necessary journal entries. So first of all, let me show the journal entries, and then I will give you a statement that this thing is wrong, right? So purchase account debit or inventory, whatever, to foreign creditors. Initial recognition, that is $10,000 into 55 rupees per dollar. So initial recognition is 5,50,000. Now on the balance sheet date, it should be subsequently recognized using the closing rate. Which one? Purchase or foreign creditor? This is non-FCMI, non-monetary items. Inventory, this will not be, it should be carried out cost. If sold, fine enough. This is FCMI. Only FCMI should be restated, right? So the exchange rate has fallen. So in that case, if this would have been settled today, then I would have paid 54 rupees per dollar. So as a result, I have to show gain. So I will debit foreign creditors. To exchange difference, $10,000 into 55 minus 54. It is gain. So on 31st March 19, I will transfer this difference Is that fine? I hope things are very clear. So now this foreign creditor is recorded at 5,40,000. Initially it was recorded at 550, but I have shown gain of 10,000. So liability is reduced. So now the liability is at 5,40,000. So foreign creditors is now in your books at 5,40,000. To bank, $10,000 into 53. So they did two mistakes. One, they transferred the exchange difference to cost of goods sold, raw material consumed, right? Whatever. So this is the first mistake, because whatever exchange difference on FCMI will arise, that will be transferred to profit and loss account. Exchange difference on FCMI items will be transferred to profit and loss account. Right? So number one. Second mistake, they took the on the balance sheet date, things will be subsequently recognized using the closing date exchange rate, but they took the payment date exchange rate. First of all, how on 31st March I'll come to know what was the rate on 7th of July? Logical. So in that case, this is absolutely wrong on two aspects. One is the treatment wrong. Further, the exchange difference calculation is also incorrect. So in 1920, again, exchange difference account debit to PL 10,000, 10,000. So I'll write the conclusion now. Conclusion. For the year ended 31st March 2019, exchange difference should be calculated on using exchange difference should be calculated using closing exchange rate on balance sheet date, and gain will be transferred to profit and loss account. right? Now question 2. Kindly go through with problem number 2. Right? So very easy problem. Rudra Limited exported goods for $2 lakh in Feb, and that time the exchange rate was, so initial recognition of foreign debtor. It's a foreign debtor, right? That is $2 lakh into 54.38. The amount was received in January. Date of settlement, sorry, in June. So that will be $2 lakh, and things are settled at 54.43. Subsequent recognition of FCMI, this is foreign debtor FCMI, on balance sheet date, 2 lakh into 54.50. So they have asked us gain or loss on the balance sheet date and gain or loss on the settlement date, right? So initially it is recorded at 2 lakh into 54.38. $108 lakh 76,000. So now you can see that initially it's an asset, right? The value of asset has been restated at a high value. So this gain of 24,000, there is a gain of 24,000, and now since it has been restated at 54.5, on the date of settlement the exchange rate has fallen, so there is a loss of 14,000. So this particular gain will be recorded in last financial year, right? This is current financial year, and this is next financial year. So it's very simple. Here we have gain. Initial recognition of this foreign debtor was done as 54.38. Subsequently recognized at 54.5. It's receivable. Receivable is increasing. Where it's if it is receivable, I'm happy if dollar is rising. So there is a gain. And from the subsequent recognition till the date of settlement, there is a loss. So this is credited to PL and this is debited to PL. They haven't asked you any journal entry, simply they have asked you gain and loss. Is that fine? Right? Okay. So that's it for today. And there are few homeworks, right? Kindly do it. 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? These are very easy problems. Whatever we have done today, it is purely based on that. Right? So till then, goodbye. Take care.